Hi everyone, my name is Audrey O'Connor and I am hosting a Pilates class today for Iconic Offices. A lot of you might know me already because I teach in Iconic for every Wellness Wednesday, which is once a month, and I teach those classes in the Greenway. So looking forward to seeing you all on the mat today. I'm sure a lot of you are feeling a little bit tight in your bodies and a little bit restricted, and this class can be really great for opening you up, for working your core and just kind of connecting with your body again. So I hope you have a lovely session, and thank you Iconic Offices for having me. We're going to start today, like I always start, sitting on a cushion or on a block. So if you want to grab a cushion quickly, grab it. Otherwise, bring yourself into a seat. Remember, sitting cross-legged doesn't suit everybody. So if it doesn't suit you today, you can bring your cross-legged version a little bit further forward. You can bend your knees. You can go into mermaid. Just wherever you're comfortable, and bring yourself into your seat. Take your palms, place them pointing forward. Send your tailbone into your cushion, into your mat or into your block, and just breathe. Take a deep breath in for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath at the top and exhale, release your breath. Pause. Inhale, close the eyes. Notice the breath travel from your stomach all the way down to the bottom of your pelvis, really near that pubic bone. Pause, and then let the breath travel up from your navel, from your chest, from your heart, out of your mouth. Pause. 4 seconds inhalation in through the back of the throat, the heart, the stomach, the pelvic floor. Pause. Exhale, release the breath. 6 more times, inhaling. Feeling the whole body expand. Pausing. Open the chest, exhale, release. 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathing in deeply, inhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Inhale. 4, 3, 2, 1, pause. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. For the next few breaths, I want you to breathe into the back of your spine, the back of your shoulders. Inhale. Pause, exhale. Breathe in again. And release. Good stuff. Take your arms, press them away from you, bring them up overhead. It's very important that your ears away from your shoulders right now. Spread those fingertips away from one another. And even though I'm lengthening my arms long and up overhead, I'm really making a conscious effort to draw my tailbone into the floor. My belly button is in line with my pelvic floor area. My ribs are pressing back. And my head isn't forward because a lot of the time we're in front of our computers, our phones, probably giving out. We need to bring our heads back a little bit more. And breathe. Maybe you could open the throat. Feel those arms lengthen away from you. Now from here, gazing forward, bring both hands to the left-hand side. Notice where my ears are in relation to those elbows. From here, press your right hip down into the floor, rotate, look down at your mat, and then send your arms forward. Release up and lengthen. Going to the left-hand side. Reach all the way forward, your ribs press behind you. And come through. Let's go for 2 more. Feel your breath. Exhalation as you reach round. Inhalation as you open your chest. Remember the Pilates breath. It's an inhalation through your nose and an exhalation out through your mouth. Switching sides, switch up. Press that left hip down into the floor. Look over your right shoulder. Flip forward so you're looking at the mat. Come all the way through. And then your arm up. Go to the right. Looking down and reach through. You'll notice that the back of the spine is a bit stiff, or else the chest might be a bit stiff. For 2 more. And that feels good. But I hope it feels good. And 1 more. Good. And release. Bring your palms behind you. Tips of your fingers on the floor. My fingertips are right behind me there. My tailbone presses down. I lift up through my gut. I open my heart. I open my chest. And I almost feel like those fingertips are on the ground, but they're pulling towards me as my chest lifts and opens. Throat opens for 4. 3. For 2. and on one release. Okay, from here, you've got your knees forward. I want you to take your left hand to the outside of your right knee. I'm going to work with the fascia in your body. So the fascia is all that connective tissue that surrounds your muscles. And in times where we're pretty tense and a bit under a lot of pressure, which I'm sure a lot of us are, that kind of connective tissue gets a bit dehydrated. So let's lubricate that space up. Lengthen your arms forward and then send them wide. Now from here, my posture is still upright. And all I'm going to do is going to bring that hand back, bring it back, bring it back, bring it back, bring it back. Lengthen my spine, and then I'm going to let my hand pull into that right knee and twist my rib cage. So I'm just twisting my ribs, twisting my ribs, twisting my ribs to look over my right shoulder to follow that hand. I'm going to stay here for a few breaths. I'm going to relax my shoulders. I don't need their help right now. And even though my tailbone is pressing down, my left rib is going past my right rib. For 3. For 2. And on 1. Very slowly, don't change your form. Just slowly bring that right arm up towards the ceiling. As if it's reaching up towards the ceiling, up, up, up. And then that arm, that bicep goes along by your ear. Keep on reaching, keep on reaching. Feel that tension in your arm as it reaches. And now it's going all the way over to that left knee. And then my hand can come forward. That feels so good on my right hip. And palm away. Palm pressing back. Twist, 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 twist. Come up. And come over. Today's class will be a mixture of stretches. And then you're like, oh my God, those stretches feel so good. And then it gets really hard and you're doing the ab stuff. You're like, why are we not doing the stretches? But it's okay, then we'll take a break again at the end. Cross over. Now my right hand is on the left knee. My left hand is wide. Send that left hand behind you. And notice now that my torso is following that left hand. Twisting, twisting, twisting. Relax that left shoulder and the right one. Keep your right hip grounded. You might find that one side might be a bit more range than the other. Then from here, lift that left arm up. Up towards the ceiling. Fingertips reaching towards the ceiling. And then over and over and over. And then reach for that right knee. And come through. And lift up. And come through and release. Take your hands nice and wide. Take your hands behind your head. Interlock your fingertips. Send your chest forward. Now this is important. A lot of the time, when you're younger, people say like, oh, drop your shoulders and send your shoulders together. That's just not enough anymore. Send your shoulder blades together, the lower shoulders, but feel like they're pressing forward and up into your heart. So not pushing forward, they're going forward and up so that your chest lifts. So from here, skull into your hands, elbows back behind you, open your throat. Open your heart. Exhale, round. Inhale from your tailbone to your stomach to your heart. Open your throat. Exhale. Let's go for 4 more. I love going back to basics with Pilates because no matter what your level is, you know, nobody has it all down. You always need to go back to your root of your practice. So whether you do bridging all the time, you know, there's always a few things you can always kind of pick up along the way. That's why beginners to intermediate class is always good. And 1 more. And stay here. Now watch my elbows. I'm going to bring my left elbow up towards the ceiling and my right elbow towards the floor. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so tight in there. That's okay. Come back to center and then left elbow, skull pressing into the hands to the left hand side. 1 more time on each side. Point that elbow up and 1 more. And come back to center. These exercises I'm doing at the start of this class, save them and then do them when you're at your desk. They're so important. Bring your elbows, palms facing away. Like I would probably start my day, if I had a lot of admin to do, elbows and hands, I would do these exercises before I start my day. Send those elbows forward, hands back. Bring those elbows and hands together. Some of you will find that the elbows won't come together that easily. Remember, it's a journey, lads, so take your time. Inhale and exhale for 4, for 3, for 2, and 1. Come forward, elbows and hands together. Lift those elbows up a little bit higher. Stay here and breathe for 4 breaths, or option 2, Lengthen the elbows up a little bit higher, bring them back down. Lift them up a little bit higher. Your gaze is not looking down, it's at your thumbs. For 4. For 3, press our shoulder blades wide. 2, and down 1, release. Good stuff. If you have a cushion underneath you, take it away. If you need a cushion for underneath your head, by all means do that. We're going to lie down on our backs first and just warm up our core. So, bring your head, neck and shoulders down. And even though I'm lying down on the mat and so are you, my cueing should hopefully get you through it so you don't have to be looking up and down. So, my feet are hip distance apart. Generally, hip distance apart is if you bring your knees into a tabletop position, place your wrist or your fist, not your wrist, your fist in between your knees. That's about hip distance, and let your feet come down. I'm sure that fist distance will be getting bigger and bigger as the weeks in quarantine go on. Now, from here, toes spread out nice and wide, heels grounded. Place your hands by your side, relax your shoulders, and just get the feeling like the whole of your front body, your rib cage, your stomach and your pelvis, we're all just melting down into the ground beneath you. Now, take your hands so that your thumbs are together and your index fingers are together, and you're looking at a triangle here. I want you to place the thumbs just below the belly button, and I want to point that index finger towards your pubic bone. Good. Now that's a triangle you've got there. You're like, we know that, Audrey. So that triangle is right there, okay? And I want you to breathe into that triangle. So take a deep breath in through your nose. Let the breath travel into your stomach, your heart, and all the way down to your index fingers. Pause and exhale, release. Feel the breath travel all the way down to that pelvic triangle. Pause at the bottom and release. Imagine that your fingertips are a bit lower towards your pubic bone. As you breathe in, let the breath travel to that space. Pause. And imagine like you were internally lifting the inside of that pubic bone and drawing it up through your body. Inhaling. Breath travels to below the index fingers. Pause there. And draw the belly button towards the spine. Lift from that space internally. 2 more breaths. One more. The other parts of your hands where your wrist meets your palm, that's on your ASIS joint. So that's 2 bony parts of your hips that they're resting on. I want you to breathe in all the way down. And when you exhale, feel like those bones are drawing in towards one another. Exhale. So you're internally imagining those bones are drawing in towards the central line of the body. One of those old school Pilates cues is feel like you're kind of corseting the body inwards. 2 more. And 1 more. Now feel that when you breathe in, all 3 corners of the triangle are drawing inwards towards one another and up. And then your belly button is drawing to the spine. And 1 more. Good work. Place your hands now behind your head, but keep that connection with your lower body. I'm going to rest my head, neck and shoulders on the floor. I'm going to bring my right leg into a tabletop position. Now from here, all I want you to do is keep your tailbone driving down into the floor. Keep your belly button going into your spine. Gazing up at the ceiling, I want you to inhale, tap your right foot to the floor. Once it meets the floor, pause. Exhale, bring it back up. Inhale down. Tap. Pause. Exhale on the effort. If you feel like your back is arching when you're doing this, make a conscious effort to draw the belly button towards the spine so there isn't much space between your lower back and the floor. Feel your ribs pressing down into the ground for 2. Good. And on 1, bring the left leg into tabletop position and tap down and lift up. And I'm just watching here that my right knee isn't moving. It's completely grounded for 2. And 1, bring the left leg into tabletop. Sit your left hand side of your tailbone, the left sit bone into the floor. Really, really, really gently lift that right leg into tabletop. If that doesn't suit your back, just bring your knees back down. That's completely fine. Knees together, feet together. This is a beginner's class. And tap your right foot towards the floor. The minute my right foot starts tapping towards the floor, I need to engage my core a little bit more. I pause and I exhale. I inhale, bring the left foot down, tap, and release back up. The movement is coming from not my knee, but my thigh bone pressing forward. And we're going to go for about 8 more of these. Be warned, my counting is terrible. And go for 7. And 7. Be careful with your lower back here, especially if you're new. Like I teach Pilates, I've been teaching it for 7 years, and I have lower back issues. So no matter how good I am at my practice, my back is made differently and it's been injured. So my foot won't touch the ground, and I know that's where my edge is. My edge is about 4 inches off the ground. So just listen to your body, it's really important. Let's go for 4. Breathe deeply. 4, 3. If you find the effort is when you're dropping your foot down, then change your breath pattern to an exhalation when you drop. For 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, and 1. And then stay here. Bring your knees together if they're not already. Curl up into flexion. If that's too much for you, bring the head back down. Now from here, tap your right foot down. Pause. Exhale, bring it back up. I'm looking at the space, those ASIS joints. I'm looking at my pelvis and making sure that it's not moving. So the space between my ribs and my pelvis is nice and shortened in the front, which means that there's plenty of length in the back line of my body. Let's go for 3, and 3, 2, and 2, and 1, and 1. Gently bring those feet down. Okay, both hands at the back of your head. We're going to work on your obliques. Obliques, they're the thigh muscles of your waistline. So the obliques are on the left and on the right hand side. Free out your right hand. Spread out your fingertips. So while I'm working the obliques, I also want you to get a bit of movement into your spine, because I'm sure like if you're working from home, you need to get a bit of space into there. So my hands are spread out. I'm gazing up at the ceiling. I'm going to lift up and over my left kneecap. Twist and let the left elbow drop to the floor, and then I'm going to come back and gaze through. Inhale, come up and over, reach the outside of the left knee and come back to center. When I'm moving this right hand across my body, it's my shoulder coming past my rib, and I release. I want you to go for 4 more here. If you're advanced in your practice, feel free to bring your legs in the air, do the exact same thing. For 3, for 2, some of you might have gone to my classes on Wellness Wednesday in the Greenway. I teach them every month. They're really good crack. They're a lovely gang as well. For 2 more. And 1 more, and reach across. Now from here, your left elbow's reaching to the floor. Your right hand is reaching past that left knee. And pulse. Draw the belly button in, lads. For 4, for 3, for 2, and 1. Release down. Good. Take 4 breaths here. Just reset. For 3. For 2. And I want to take your left hand wide, spread out your fingertips, lift up and over that right knee and come back to center. And lift up and over and come back to center. Now could you start bringing that right elbow down, getting a bigger twist. Good work. As you go for 4. Good. Now when I reach across, my left rib is going past my right rib, my right shoulder is going in towards the mat. As you go for 3, as you go for 2, as you go for 1, and stay here and reach, and right elbow reaches down for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, and on 1, release. Bring your knees to the right and bring your knees to the left. Sometimes when you do ab work, it's no harm to get a bit of visualization into that kind of series, because otherwise you don't really know how you're pulling and pushing from. So a really good example of what I'm talking about is people with neck issues, bring your hands behind your head. Otherwise, bring both hands up towards the ceiling. And imagine like you're grabbing a very thick rope, okay? A big knotty rope. And it's coming from the ceiling and you're pulling it down to lift yourself up. Now if your neck is giving out, just put 1 hand behind your head, of course. Now from here, I want you to put all the strength in your right hand to pull that rope down, that elbow comes to the floor. And then the left one goes down. Yes, and pull. Yes, and pull that rope. And you're really trying to reach up there. You're reaching up. And reach up, your tailbone is grounded and you're going for 5, for 4, come on, 3, 2, and then you're like all the way over to the right hand side and pull that rope and keep that left hip down for 2, and then go to the left hand side for 4, for 3, and 2, and release that rope and come down. Bring both knees down to the right hand side. If you're tight, your adductors, your inner seams of your thighs, try and get that left knee towards the right knee a little bit more, and vice versa. Top knee, the right knee going towards the left a little bit more. For 3, for 2, and on 1. Okay, bridging. Bridging is one of my favorite things to do. It lengthens your hips. So if you've got tight hips, you'll be living the dream when you're doing this. And it's very good for your glutes as well. I'm very, very strict about bridging. So my cueing is very detailed. But once you get the hang of it, you'll just never forget it. And no matter what kind of class you're in, you're always going to stick with this kind of movement in bridging. So let your head, neck and shoulders rest down on the floor. Make sure the shoulders are separated because, you know, when you're in a tight body, the shoulders are kind of hunched together. So release them down. Draw the belly button down to the spine. Keep the knees hip distance apart. Press your hands into the floor. This is not the same as a yoga bridge. So if you do yoga, it's a different movement. From here, press your hands down into the floor like you're pressing down in a steel bar. Drive your heels into the floor. And from here, think about your tailbone, your coccyx bone. It's right underneath your sacrum. So your lower back, sacrum, tailbone. And I want you just to roll your tailbone on the floor just a few times and close your eyes when you do this. So your tailbone has 7 little bony crevices in it. And you want to contact those crevices with the floor. So I have quite a rigid tailbone, and because I used to do a lot of horse riding when I was small, I wasn't very good at it, but I was sent off to do horse riding after school. But you know, maybe some of you did sailing or things where you were kind of low to the ground a lot, like hockey or soccer, that kind of stuff. You might have a bit of a rigid tailbone, and then people that dance a lot and have really free movement and are super flexible, their tailbones might be the opposite, like really rolling. So from here, when you arch your back, feel like your tailbone is reaching away from you. When you exhale and draw your tailbone under, your lower back flattens into the floor. When you inhale, there's a little arch in your back. Your ribs are pressing down. And then you tuck your tailbone under. Let's go for 2 more. And let's go for 1 more. Press your hands down into the floor from here. As you press the hands into the floor, send the bones you sit on, your sitting bones, up your thighs, the ones I'm pointing at right now. Send them up your thighs. Good. Send the front of your hips forward. Press your hands into the floor. Stay here for a moment. Keep your knees hip distance apart. And you're like, Audrey, this is hard on my hamstrings. Yeah, it should be. That's normal. Now take your hands onto your bum cheeks. And there's a little crease there below your bottom, like just a crease between your thighs and your bum. That's where I want you to draw your fingers into and lift those hips. And that area should be quite tense because it's an attachment point. I want you to breathe in deeply. I want you to keep those knees where they are. And I want you to squeeze the crease of your bottom towards each side, towards the middle. Take a breath in, release your hands, and just keep on drawing them towards one another. As you go for 4, and then your hamstrings are like, oh my God, you've just joined the party. They're delighted to be in there. For 3, for 2, and on 1, press your big toe into the floor. Press your inside heel into the floor and just embrace that lovely length. Now open your eyes, open the space between your throat and your chest, and take an exhalation and just roll your shoulders into the mat. Pause here. Exhale, release your mid-spine into the mat. Take a breath here, inhale. Release your lower spine into the mat all the way down so your tailbone touches the floor. Release it like it's sedated. Inhale, exhale, lift up. Open your throat, release the shoulders down. Release the mid-spine down. Release your lower back down. Release the bones you sit on. Watch the knees aren't going wide. Let's go for 2 more. You want to bring the hands into it, you can, and bring them behind you. 1 full exhalation. 1 more time. Inhale. Exhale, release down all the way. Bring your hands down by your side. Exhale, lift. The bones you sit on are here. The crease is here. Think about where that crease is. Draw that crease together and release. For 10. For 9. For 8. See, my hips aren't dropping. I'm not using my lower back. I'm just using the lower glute and a hamstring. For 5. 4. 3. 2 and 1. If you're able for it, and only if you're able for it, listen to your body. Keep the feet down. Otherwise, if you want to, bring all the weight into your left foot. Bring your right leg into tabletop. Now from here, just like we did in ab work, tap that right foot down, lift back up. Feel your tailbone is slightly under, just a little bit, and you're tapping. Let's go for 5. For 4, so no matter if you're beginner or intermediate, bring your feet down, and if you're able for it, and your glutes can handle it, lift that leg up for 3. That totally wasn't 3 there. 2 and 1, bring that right foot down, engage that left heel, engage that crease, and tap for 6, for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, and on 1. Stay here with the right leg into tabletop, press down to your left foot, straighten that leg up and tiny lifts. 10, 9, 8. Engage that glute, engage those hamstrings. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep your alignment. Keep those hips stable. And lift up for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring that foot down. Roll everything down. Let's stretch out those hips, lads. Bend that right knee. Your right heel is pressing away, as is your toe coming towards your knee, okay? You don't want to point that right foot because it's going to damage the knee, okay? Always remember that. And from here, bring your left foot up. And some people might find their neck is lifting when they do this. You can put a cushion under your neck, that's totally fine. And place both hands to the back of that left leg, that left hamstring. And relax here. Close the eyes. Send your right knee away from you. Pull your left thigh towards you. Can you feel the connection with your stomach and your lower back? If you're in a flexible body, you can bring both hands in front of your left knee. That's totally fine. Or you can go from side to side and massage those glutes after all that hard work. For 3, 2, and 1. One of my favorite stretches. Bring your elbows wide, bring your palms facing up, hands on the floor. Pointing the toes towards your knee, press that right heel down towards the left hand side of the mat until it eventually comes to the mat, and then you're in a little twist and look over your shoulder and just close your eyes. And if your feet don't touch the floor, that's fine. You do you and where it lands today. Send those shoulder blades into the floor. The deeper twist through the mid back. For 2 more. And 1 more, come back to center. Bring that right foot down, bring that left knee into flexion. Left heel is pressing away, so my heel is pointing towards you guys. Toes is away. Toes are away even. Lift your right foot up. Place both hands to the back of that right knee. And breathe. Let everything go. Anything you've been holding on to, anything that's out of your control, use this opportunity to release it. For 2 more breaths. 1 more breath. You might even notice that your stomach is gargling a little. And that just means your belly and your stomach muscles and your colon are just relaxing a little bit. And bring your left foot to the floor on the right hand side very slowly. Very slowly and very slowly until you look over your left shoulder. And breathe here. For 5 and 4, 3, 2, and on 1. Bring your left hand onto the floor beside you and slowly bring yourself up. Okay, from here, we're going to do a bit of cat-cow. So with all these movements you're doing, like you could do this workout 3 days a week and you'd be living the actual dream. Your spine will be moving, your hips will be working, you'd have strong glutes, and hopefully when you come out of quarantine, your body will be functioning at its optimum level. So bring yourself onto your hands and knees. Shoulder width apart with the hands, hip distance apart with the knees. And from here, I just want you to splay out your fingertips. Again, if you do a yoga practice quite a lot, the breath is different. One isn't right or wrong, they're just different breaths. So from here, I want you to draw your tailbone under. So my tailbone is here, I'm drawing it under. Lift up through your belly button. Round the back, spread your shoulder blades wide. Draw your elbows in. Inhale. Get some space into the back of the neck. Get some space into your rib cage. And make sure your hips are directly over your knees. And then exhale, turn the tailbone away from the crown of the head. Open your heart. Open your throat. Feel the shoulder blades away from your ears. Rounding your back. Drawing everything wide. Pausing. And releasing on the exhalation. Go for 4 more here. And try and close your eyes if you can when you do that. And really internalize the feeling that's on your body. As you go for 3. As you go for 2. As you go for 1. Bring both hands onto the floor. Bring your hips to the right hand side. And bring them to the left hand side. Come all the way over to the right hand side. Lovely. Over the wrists and to the right and left. And all the way over to the right. And all the way over to the left. And all the way over to the right. And you're like, I know where this is going, Audrey. Oh no, we're changing sides now. Go all the way to the left hip. Come all the way over to the right shoulder, the left shoulder, come all the way back over to the right hip. Let's go for 2 more. So you're just reversing your direction. And 1 more. And release back to center. Okay, I have no wrist injuries, thank God. So my middle finger is pointing forward. If you have a wrist injury or you know your wrists are a bit wonky, have your index finger pointing forward and your hands a little bit wider facing. From here, breathe in deeply. Send your right leg away from you. So my right leg is lengthening long away from me. The minute I do that, my shoulders go back. So everybody bring your shoulder blades a bit forward. Good stuff. Slide your ribs down. Bring your right heel up. Don't bring it past hip height and stay here. Good. I want you to take your left hand onto your stomach. And with every breath you take, I want you to inhale. And exhale, draw your belly button in towards your lower back. Inhale. Draw the belly button in towards the lower back. 2 more. And 1 more. Send your left hand onto the mat forward. And then send it away from you. Gazing down at the floor, keep this stance. Roll your thigh bone in. So when you're thinking that, you're like, what is she saying? Roll my thigh bone in. Really, a nice way to think about this is raise your big toe higher than your baby toe, and that'll roll your hip in. And stay here and breathe for 4, for 3, for 2, and on 1, bring that right knee back down. Lengthen the left leg behind you. Stretch out that heel a lot. Now from here, shift the weight of the body forward, lift that left heel off the floor, engage the quad, the front of your thigh, and the left hand side as well as your hamstring. Reach your arm forward. Every time I breathe out, my stomach draws up, and I'm almost like I feel like I'm zipping up my leggings. 3, 2, and on 1, bring your right hand wide. This is where the challenge lies now. I want to get you to open. Open. Yes, if that's too much on your neck, you can bring your hand behind your back. And then thread the needle. Keep your hips completely still. And open. Lovely. And come on, that feels so good in the spine. As you go for 4. As you go for 3. Wring out that stomach, wring out that twist into your mid-spine for 2. Don't worry, the wobbles will come. And 1 more. Open. Thread your needle. And bring that hand back down. Good stuff. Left leg long. You know the drill. Bring those shoulders forward. Watch your alignment. Bring that left hand wide. Roll your right hip in as you're going under that right shoulder and lift. For 4. Inhale to open. Exhale, twist. For 3. For 2. And on 1 and release. Okay, we're going to go to the dark place, okay, for maybe 5 minutes, and you'll be like, oh my God, this is so hard, but we need to do it, okay? So bring your shoulders forward, lengthen your back leg away from you, lift your heel. My heel is at hip height there, I can see it, toes coming towards me. I lower my left heel to the floor, or lift my foot to the floor, lift it straight up. This won't work unless my hips are forward, and I'm engaging and drawing my elbows in and keeping my upper body as stable as I can. I'm pressing my right hip in a little bit more, so that right hip is drawing in a little bit. And you're like, this is grand, this is fine. Don't worry, it'll get harder in a second. As you go for 4. If you need to go onto your elbows, because your wrists are tired, go onto your elbows, you'll get the same effect. So if you need to come down to there for 2. And 1, go to the right hand side outside your right foot and come up and over. Come out to the right hand side. And come up and over. As you go for 8. As you go for 7. As you go for 6. As you go for 5. That is hard. It's like you're going over a little rainbow or over a little half moon. For 3. As you go for 2. As you go for 1. And come back here. Bend your knee. Lift your heel up and go. And go. Your right bum cheek should be on fire right now. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and bring that home. Good, shake it out. Now from here, take that right leg long, shoulders forward, find that length, lift that heel. Engage your left hip, bring it in slightly and lower and lift. And lower and lift for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Now go over that half moon, that rainbow, whatever shape you want for 8, 7. Shoulders forward more. 6, 5. That should be really going into that stabilizing hip for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come to here. Tiny lifts, tiny lifts, tiny lifts. Come on, lads. Let's go for 8, 7, 6. Core engaged. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Take a child's pose. Rest. Bring your palms up towards the ceiling. If you want to have your knees wide, have them wide. If you need to have them together, have them together. Same goes for your feet. And let everything release. Have your palms facing forward and away, or have your palms by your side, and rest. For 4. For 3. For 2. And on 1, very slowly, bring yourself back. We're going to do a roll down series. It's probably one of my favourite things to do in Pilates, especially when I'm doing a beginner's class, because just because you're a beginner doesn't mean you can't move in various ranges of motion and planes of motion. You know, you might be good at doing a plank and then you might be really bad at doing lunging, you know, and it's all a learning curve. So with the roll down, just try and enjoy it as much as you can. And if I give the option to drop your heels, just drop your heels, it's fine. So bring yourself to the back of your mat. There's going to be upper body work in this. If push-ups are in your practice, do a full push-up. If push-up on the knees is on your practice, do a push-up on your knees, okay? So from here, you're at the back of your mat, you're happy out, your toes are hip distance apart. Lift onto the tippy toes. My hands are going to go out of focus for a moment, and that's okay. But my arms are reaching up towards the ceiling. And I'm reaching. Now I'm dropping my tailbone, lifting my inner thighs up. And I'm gazing forward, I'm not looking at the floor. Stay here for 4 breaths. Feel that pelvic floor connection. In my classes, I try not to overuse the word pelvic floor, because sometimes that creates a kind of gripping sensation in people's bodies, whereas if I use the word inner thighs or lifting, it works a bit better. 2 more. And on 1, bring your hands down by your side. Bring your chin to your chest. Come up and over a hedge. So you're still on your tippy toes, you're going up and over that hedge. And then you're going to walk your hands for 3, for 2, and for 1, come all the way forward. Option to stay in your plank position, or for push-up, or go onto your knees. If on your knees is better, do that. Draw your elbows in, spread the shoulder blades apart. Toes are tucked under, tailbone is a little bit away from you, and leading with your chest and your pelvis, drop down and lift. If you can only do a micro bend and it's just to here, that's fine. Sure, we all have to start somewhere. For 4, for 3, for 2, and on 1, lift up, lift your knees, tippy toes, 3, 2, and 1, slowly, 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 slowly come up. Lift up to the front body. Again, my arms are going to disappear, but yours are going to reach up towards the ceiling. Breathe. 4, lift up, 3, 2, second last round, and on 1, very slowly roll down. Roll down. Walk forward. Good. Bring your knees on the floor. Send your right leg away from you. Both hands in that same position. Push up for 4. Leading with the chest, elbows tight to your body. Don't lose your lower back here for 3, 2, 1. Bend that right knee. Left leg lengthens. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees down. Knees lift. Walk in. 4, 3, 2, 1. Tippy toes, tippy toes, tippy toes. Reach up. Last time, I promise. Bring your hands by your side. Come up and over that hedge. Walk down very slowly for 3, for 2, for 1. I want everybody to go onto their elbows. Have your palms at elbow height. Press them into the floor. Lift from underneath your knees a little bit more. And stay here for 10 breaths. Spread the shoulder blades wide for 8. Press the heels away. Pull the elbows in for 5, 4, 3, 2, and on 1, glide the left hand onto the floor and to the right. You're back in plank. You're walking yourself in, and then you're lifting all the way up. Instead of bringing your arms overhead, bring your hands in front of your heart center. If you can stay on the tippy toes, stay on the tippy toes, otherwise bring your heels down. I want you to stay grounded and stay here for 10 breaths. Pressing the hands together, connecting with your heart. connecting with your body. And all that prana and all that energy going through your lungs, through your system, through your veins. Anything you wish to let go of it now. Inhale, exhale. And one, place the hands by your side. And very slowly roll yourself down, head, neck and shoulders, all the way down onto your mat. And bring yourself to where we started today, where we started our practice. Cross over the ankles. If you don't like crossing over the ankles, just go into a seat or go onto your knees, that's totally fine as well. Place your right hand on your heart, your left hand on your stomach. Breathe into your heart. Breathe into your gut. Find length. Exhale. Breathe into your heart. Breathe into your gut. Find space. Exhale. 8 more breaths. Whatever you're working towards, whatever you're hoping for, breathe through it. On your exhalation, anything you need that's taking up too much space in your mind, anything you have no control over, just release it on your exhalation. Take your left hand to the floor, take your right hand over your left ear, stretch the neck out, send the elbow forward and away as your left hand presses into the floor for 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring your right hand down, left hand over, 4. And pull gently, like a very gentle, 3, 2, 1. Bring your chin to your chest, look over your left shoulder with your right eye, open your neck and look over your right shoulder with your left eye. 3, 2, and 1. Reverse. Looking over your right shoulder with your left eye, looking up for 3, for 2, and for 1. Bring your hands in front of your heart center. Bring your hands in the space between your eyebrows, your third eye, and thank yourself for staying focused today, for committing to your practice. Bring your hands in front of your lips. Thank yourself for communicating with your body today, for listening to your body when you wanted to move forward, and listening to when you also needed to hold back. Thank you so much, everybody, for practicing with me today. I hope this is a helpful little workout for you all, and hopefully do it a couple of times a week. It'll do your body the world of good. I'm Audrey O'Connor. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Namaste.